On April 19th, 2019, history was made. And now, in 2026, we are celebrating 7 years on BookTube. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it should be longer than that. I feel like I've been around for quite some time. It's been both the fastest and the slowest 7 years of my life. And here we are. Here we are, so cheers to us. Please grab yourself a beverage. It can be alcohol free, it can be water, it can be anything you want. And let's toast, let's celebrate, if you will permit me. And this is just going to be a 7-year Q&A video. I did put out on my Instagram stories a form, a very anonymous Google form that anyone could fill in and nobody would be, you know, called out or anything if you wanted to ask like the really personal questions, like the really deep questions or the really messy questions, like just so you won't be called out. So all the questions were anonymous. And there were quite a few, but I have whittled them down to 56. We'll see if I actually do answer the actual 56 questions, but we're just going to go with it. I'm just going to enjoy my bubbly pink Moscato to celebrate 7 years. So if you end up enjoying the video, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into the 7-year Q&A. I should also say I have done this in the past. I think the last Q&A I did was maybe in 2022, so it's been a good 4 years since then. So some of these questions might have been answered before in the past. I can't really remember. I didn't want to rewatch them, to be quite honest. Those first few Q&A videos, totally different time period of my life. Very hard to look back on them now, let me tell you. But yeah, if I end up answering something in this video and I had a totally different answer in previous videos, I do apologize. Like, I'm just going off. I'm going off my memory now. So let's hope there's not very many discrepancies. Okay, let's get straight into it, otherwise this will be a long one. What made you decide to do YouTube? I decided to do YouTube back in, I think, around about 2006. I was actually doing just random general videos back in the day from, I think, like 2006 to up until about 2018. I was just making fan videos of like High School Musical, The Cheetah Girls, That's So Raven, and things like that. I was doing like clips from the show, but I was putting them against music. So I would essentially make like music videos with like That's So Raven clips, or, you know, The Cheetah Girls clips, or even like Ghost Whisperer, Desperate Housewives, things like that. I would just make music videos with copyrighted songs. So that's when I started YouTube, like in general. So my channel's been around since like May 2006. And that's crazy because I was like 14. I was 14 at the time, and now I'm in my 30s. Like, something doesn't add up. Like, something doesn't add up. What do you mean? Because I should really just be like 27 right now. Oh, and then I did try and do some like Blu-ray collection videos, but my brother watched them and he showed his friends and they all laughed at me. So I never made a Blu-ray collection video ever again. And I also didn't want to put my face on camera ever again either. But yeah, it was a different time, what can I say? My brother's a good person, really. He just likes to take the piss sometimes. But then, yeah, in April 2019, 7 years ago, I was taking part in the Owl's Magical Readathon hosted by Jay from Book Roast, and I was reading the most books I'd ever read in like 1 month in such a long time, and I just wanted to share like my excitement for like reading. I was so passionate about it, and I just couldn't believe like how much I was reading. I was like, oh my god, I love this. I love being part of the community. I love that everyone is like talking about what they're doing and what they would read for the prompts and stuff like that. Like, I'd never taken part in a readathon before, and I'd watched BookTube for a long time. I used to watch Read by Zoe and Jessie the Reader back in like 2012, 2013, or thereabouts. I can't remember when I started, but yeah, I used to love them, but like I didn't really know of readathons back then. And then university happened. I kind of fell out of watching BookTube until I think maybe like 2018. I got back into watching it again, and it was just a revelation. It was an absolute revelation. And I thought, oh, maybe I can, after all this time, stop making those copyrighted videos, music videos, and actually do a video, a BookTube video, a book haul, and start a BookTube channel. And that's what I did. And I remember specifically where I was when I decided to do it. I had my friend staying that night. So on the night of April 18th, my friend was like staying over, and he's been my friend for like nearly 20 years. He's called Mark. And I just remember lying in bed thinking, I just want to make a YouTube video. I just want to make a YouTube video. It just came to me. It came to me almost as if it was a dream. And when my friend left, I decided to film my YouTube video, but I thought it would be more aesthetic if all the lights were off. I just had fairy lights. I put a lamp between my legs for the lighting to make it like cozy lighting, and just filmed. I think I filmed on my phone for the good first like maybe year of my channel, maybe up until Christmas actually. I think I got my first proper camera for Christmas 2019, and I remember trying to use that bloody camera as well. I was filming a November wrap-up for Believeathon, and I had to film it 3 times because the camera wouldn't pick up the audio, and I was getting so frustrated and stressed, but the picture quality was better. Still wasn't great. Like the light and stuff was not great. But yeah, I was just using my phone for like the first, to all of 2019 essentially. So yeah, what made me start BookTube, sorry, again, like this is going to be such a long video because I'm just like, oh, I've got such long-winded answers. It was the magical readathon, essentially. It was the magical readathon. I owe everything to the magical readathon. How did you get started? I literally just turned on my camera and I just did it. I literally just did it. And then I uploaded the video, and I remember, I think I got like, oh, maybe I have a screenshot of it somewhere. I think I got like 8 views, maybe in the first like 24 hours. I was like, oh my God, I'm a booktuber, guys. I'm a booktuber, oh my God. And I was so, or maybe it wasn't 8, maybe it was like 14 views. I do have screenshots somewhere because I was just so proud of that. And I literally did I just said, do it. So I did, I turned on my phone, clicked record, and I just did it. And I was like, what can I talk about? Oh, I'll do a book haul, because they're like so easy to do and everyone does them. And so I was just like, yeah, I got some books from Waterstones. I worked at Waterstones at the time, got 50% off because they're using staff discount. And I was just like, yeah. And if you're thinking of starting a BookTube channel as well, honestly, just go for it. Just do it. Start clicking record and just talk to it. Talk to the camera as if you're talking to me. And also, like, if you don't want to put it out, like, I haven't even got to a question about BookTube advice, but I'm just going to give you some. Don't put the videos like out publicly if you don't want to. If that's going to help you grow your confidence, do videos, edit them so you can get the hang of editing, upload them unlisted, and then if you feel confident enough, publish them. And at least then you've probably got like a little bit of a backlog, a little bit of a catalogue of videos to go out before you actually like start properly. But honestly, just do them for you first, and then you probably won't. I mean, it'll probably still feel a bit weird. This still feels weird, by the way. But at least your confidence will hopefully grow from that. And then, yeah, if you don't think anyone's going to watch it, you might feel more at ease. But when you know that people are going to watch it, it might make you feel a little bit nervous. So just do it for yourself to begin with. What did your BookTube career look like to you when you first began making videos? Did you ever imagine it's a full-time job? No. Don't get me wrong, I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. Again, I've been doing it since 2006. I've always wanted to be someone who does like just videos, like making videos in general, whether that's like editing a music video or like filming a vlog or something like that. I've always just wanted to do videos. And so when I started BookTube, I mean, yeah, sure, at the back of my mind, I was thinking, this would be amazing, wouldn't it? If I could make this a full-time job, if this could be a career. But I never expected it back then. Like never, ever, ever. And especially at the rate I was going in and the size I was at the time, I thought, oh, this is never going to happen to me. And that's fine. Like I was just like doing it. I had my part-time job and I was just doing it because it was like my major hobby. And yeah, like now, I mean, definitely so grateful and super grateful that it has become something more like that. But I never really pinned all of my hopes on that to begin with. And I don't think anyone really should. Like, I don't think you should ever start BookTube thinking, I'm definitely going to be a full-time BookTuber by year 2. Honestly, believe in yourself, absolutely. And trust the process and that you will get there one day, absolutely 100%. But don't pin all of your hopes on that because you don't want to be disappointed, and it's kind of hard. Like, even like for me now, like it's not like the easiest thing as a full-time job, like to do like finances and all of these self-assessment taxes and things that I have to do and do myself, and there's not a union that I can go to. There's not really very many people I can talk to about it and get advice from, and you know what I mean? It's just like, it's a very solitary thing, as well as it being like such a massive thing on a big scale of having like an audience, a platform. So like it's a very jarring experience. But firstly, level your expectations and go into it because you want to do it. Essentially, it is, again, like kind of the takeaway from that question. No, I didn't expect this to happen, but I was always kind of hoping it would happen, and it did. And you know what? I feel like I've done everything I possibly could to get here. I've worked my ass off, and again, like so many people have, and still haven't like managed to like make it and stuff, which breaks my heart. But just keep going. Just keep going. Hopefully the algorithm favors you. Hopefully YouTube favors you. Just like keep going, make your videos, do what you want, and fingers crossed it's like it works out in the end. I love how every single time I'm answering a question, I just go back to advice, like unsolicited advice. I'm sorry. How long were you doing BookTube before you got monetized? I got monetized just over a year after I started BookTube. And it's funny because as soon as I uploaded a Mamma Mia video in 2020, so I just got monetized. I think it was like June or July 2020. And then 2 months later, I uploaded a Mamma Mia reading vlog where I used copyrighted material. I got demonetized for 3 months. So I was like, I got monetized and then I got demonetized. And so I didn't really get properly monetized until the start of 2021. So I was like nearly 2 years into doing BookTube, but I was posting so much. Like, if you look at how many videos I was posting in 2020, 2021, I posted around about like 150 videos in a year. A lot of them were like unboxings, like really short videos and stuff like that. Now it's like totally different. I upload very sporadically now, and I upload longer videos now. But back then I was just like boom, boom, boom. So by uploading so many videos, I felt like that really helped with my watch time. That really helped with getting monetized and getting my feet off the ground. I wouldn't go back to doing that though. Oh my God, no. Absolutely not. So yeah, I got monetized after a year and then demonetized very quickly after, and then remonetized. So yeah. But if you want to know how long I was monetized before I quit and went full time, I quit my job at the very start of July. Well, I put in my notice in June 2022, and then I worked until the very start of July 2022. And so I'd only been doing BookTube for 3 years when I decided to do it full time. And honestly, looking back on it now, it was the rockiest decision because I'd also moved into a place on my own for the very first time, and I just got Ash and Tobu. I was looking after 2 little kitty cats who were expensive and still are, by the way. And so it was a very rocky decision to do when I'd only been doing it for 3 years, and I'd only been monetized for really just over a year, like a year and a half. And that is just honestly crazy to me now, looking back on it now. Like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? But it did allow me the time, like if you look at my videos in 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, like ever since leaving my part-time job, having more time to focus on the bigger videos, the more creative videos, definitely helped because I left my job. And I don't think I would probably be where I am now if I continued working my part-time job. I do think I needed to leave. I needed to take that risk and that chance in order to really make BookTube a full-time career. I finally believed in myself enough to do it, and I did it. It was risky as fuck. If you saw how much I was earning back then as well, oh my God, I was just scraping by. Essentially, I was just scraping by. I needed to do it. Like, I needed to do it. I don't know how deep we're gonna go during this video. You know, I am having bubbly pink Moscato. My mind needed it more than anything else. Like, I needed it desperately. And I just went with it. I really did. I just went with it. I was like, this is what I need to do for my soul, and I went ahead and did it, and fortunately it's paid off. And if it didn't pay off, then it would be a totally different story, but hey, we're here now. How is BookTube different from when you started it? BookTube is so different now, I feel. BookTube is so different. It is very like, how would I describe it? I mean, I'm loving all of the fresh new faces that have come in over the years, including myself. Like, I still feel like a newbie. I really do. But when I compare it to BookTube 10 years ago, like when I used to watch BookTube, BookTube was very like short form, a little bit like TikTok now is what like BookTube was 10 years ago. It was more short form. It was more tags. You got to know less about the BookTubers, and you know, sometimes that's a good thing. But also it's like, I don't know, I feel a lot more of a connection with a lot of the BookTubers now and who I watch now as well. I just feel like, gosh, the personalities are just like radiating through their vlogs and their videos, and I love seeing that. I feel less detached as a viewer. And I know it's mainly probably as well because I'm part of the BookTube world and I make videos, but like, even as I'm just like watching my favorite BookTubers, I'm just like, gosh, I love what they do, and I love their impact, and I love how a lot of them are just like, you know, just say what's on their mind. I feel that bigger connection there than ever before. So yeah, it's so different. And I've only been part of it for 7 years. So even like, I would say as well, BookTube, when I first started, so like the first couple of years on BookTube, COVID hit, obviously, and people were at home, like during like my first year essentially on BookTube. And even then there was like more like book clubs, it felt like there was more reading sprints. There were way more lives back then, at least like from what I remember, at least from like the circles that I was kind of in. There was just a whole lot of live shows and people talking to one another. And that has kind of like fizzled over time as well, for many different reasons. But even now, like 7 years after I've started BookTube, 2019 BookTube feels so different to 2026 BookTube 100%. Obviously, like the fresh faces have come in and people have left, and it's different because of that. But yeah, there are parts of me that misses the BookTube back then, but I'm in a much better place now, like mentally, creatively, I feel. That's obviously subjective, but like I feel good about where I am now, even though I do miss the vibes of 2019. I miss like the friendships from 2019 and stuff like that. I miss all of that, but now I feel like what I've needed for my own like mental health in how I feel creatively now is like hopefully like my time to shine. But yeah, so different. I would love actually to know. In fact, I would love if someone did an essay, like a video essay of like BookTube through the years. I don't really know enough about BookTube myself, especially back then. I was pretty much a casual watcher of like some of my favorite BookTubers back then, but I don't really know everything. I don't really know like the full scope of everything. So if anyone ever did a documentary, BookTube, then to now, I would watch the hell out of that. How did you stay positive in the beginning when you were first on and not see much progress? Honestly, progress was progress. As I said, like the first few videos I did, I would get like maybe 20, 30, 40 views in the first 24 hours. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that. I was just like proud of myself for just like getting on the BookTube ladder and just like making things, because that's just what I wanted to do. I wanted that outlet, that creative outlet. So it wasn't really much about the progress. It was just about, okay, well, you know, if a video flopped, for instance. So like, I'm trying to remember back in 2019, I didn't really do big videos though, is the thing. Like I didn't really like do what I was doing back then, what I do now. But like maybe a part of me wanted Believeathon to be bigger back then. Like that was my middle grade readathon that I hosted and like started in 2019. Maybe I wanted that to be bigger. But even then I thought, damn, like, this is quite a lot of people. I think I had like 70 people watching the YouTube premiere of the first Believeathon video. And I premiered it. I remember the date, September 13th, 2019. I remember because it was a Friday the 13th. And I remember because I was pulled into my manager's office and she told me off for talking shit about some stuff about work in a vlog. So I remember that date very specifically. But yeah, it was just like progress is progress. Like if I get like 20 people watching, 10 people watching, like, hey, that's 10 people, you know, it's amazing. So I think just keeping humble, keeping humble in the first few years definitely helped. And honestly, I was more about the friends I was making, the connections I was making, and being able to like do things with people. So like, again, I made a like middle grade book club with Jade and Pris, and I just like loved, like absolutely loved just hanging out with people on live shows, being part of book clubs and things like that. Like, oh my gosh, like it was more connection based when I first started. It was more like about making friends and being able to just like share thoughts on books. Yeah, I never dreamed that I would become big on BookTube. So I was just like, hey, I'm having fun. I'm having fun and I'm still having fun. Don't twist my words, I'm still having fun. But back then, it wasn't a deterrent that I wasn't like blowing up every bloody video. It was more like a, oh, I'm just having fun. Just have fun. What would you do differently if you started BookTube over? This is the thing though, I feel like I wouldn't be where I am right now if I hadn't started the way I did. It's like if I changed something, would that mean that this wouldn't happen? And then if that didn't happen, would that then not happen? I do have regrets. Like I absolutely do have like regrets and things that I wish I didn't do. Every single thing that's happened to get me to this point, I'm just so grateful for, I'm just so thankful for. And I don't think I would be where I am right now if it wasn't for all of those mistakes and the trials and the errors and stuff like that. I mean, if I could change something and still get to where I am now, I would probably say I wish I wasn't as messy with like my direction on my channel, because I was uploading such random ass videos like so often, and I feel like that not only confused the audience, but it confused me as well. I was like, okay, what's the direction going to be? Like, how am I actually like making an identity for myself on BookTube? And like, yeah, sure, like some of this is fun, but like, I feel like it got to a point where I was like doing unboxings and I was like, this is so soulless and like, I'm not even enjoying this part of it, but I'm still doing it. But all of those little things have added up to now. Like every single building block, every single step that I've took has been because of how my channel was at the beginning. As much as like a lot of it was cringy, like I wish I had better equipment when I first started, but at the same time, I genuinely think there's something so authentic and so down to earth about just like using your phone or just like using any kind of equipment you have. You don't need the big fancy things. So yeah, how do you get your ideas for videos? I honestly like, I feel like I'm constantly thinking about what to do. And if I'm ever watching YouTube, like in general, I will just maybe try and think of like, oh, how can I make that bookish kind of thing? So like, for instance, when I'm doing like the haunted videos, I was watching a lot of paranormal investigations on YouTube. And I was like, God, this looks like so much fun. I love a good paranormal investigation. I was like, how can I make it bookish though? I know. Let's go to a haunted castle and read horror books. You know, like I can still make that work. I mean, obviously it's torn the line a little bit. You know, it's not like predominantly BookTube related, but it's still having fun and it's still tied into books. I just watch a lot of like different channels, like Jetlag the Game, for instance, one of my favorite, you know, YouTube channels, Nebula channels like ever. And like they do fun things. And I'm just like, okay, because that's where Snake Across My Bookshelves came from. They were doing Snake Across South Korea. So I was like, okay, Snake Across South Korea, Snake Across My Bookshelves. And I watch a lot of other booktubers as well. And yeah, just like, oh, inspiration comes from everywhere. Inspiration comes from everywhere if you look. And I always think, like, how can I entertain people? How can I make people laugh? How can I make people, you know, want to watch this video over and over and over again? Like years from now, 10 years from now, they'll be like, oh, remember that time Gavin did this? You know, I love doing stuff like that. And so those ideas are like constantly coming. And there's so many things I didn't do and I haven't done over the years. But it's just like, not every idea is a hit. Like 100%, not every idea is a hit. But being able to just explore that, and ever since leaving my part-time job, I have been able to explore that more. yeah, she's just everywhere. That's the short answer, everywhere. What video are you the most proud of? Any video where I've kind of gone away, where I've kind of went to, like, say, the Shire House to do Lord of the Rings, even though I was using my older camera at that time and I am shaky. Like, I'm a shaky person. Like, whenever I'm like holding something, I do shake. And so like trying to hold it, see, this is great. I'm using a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 at the minute. And it's great because it's on a gimbal. But when I was doing that Shire House video and I was trying to do B-roll, you can see it shaking. You can see the camera shaking. I just wish I wasn't shaking. I would love to redo it, but I'm like, well, there's no point really. But I do love it when I can bring you guys with me somewhere. So if I'm reading The Lord of the Rings, I want to transport you into The Lord of the Rings. I want to license the soundtrack so that when you're listening to the video, you can hear the Lord of the Rings music and you feel like you're there, you'll feel like you're in Middle Earth. And so doing the Shire House and I'm reading Lord of the Rings, you feel like you're there too. You know, any video where I can do that is my favorite video that I'm the most proud of. So like maybe even like with Sleepy Hollow as well, or any of my haunted like location visits as well. I feel like any of those I'm the most proud of. Just anywhere I could take you with me, make you feel like you were part of the story. So that's what I love to do. Yeah. What has been your favorite vlog of Halloween to film? To film? Probably that very first Haunted Castle video, I'm not gonna lie. Just because I was so brand new to the whole like paranormal angle of things that it really was the freakiest experience I've ever had. And so just like filming wise, that was like one of my very first ever like on location visits as well. Even just like getting a taste of it and a feel for it. I filmed that video and was like, I want to do videos like this all the time. Like that's kind of the feeling I got from that video. And even like looking back on it now, I probably couldn't sit through the entire video. I do think it's maybe a little bit too long and there's a lot of waffle. There's a lot of stuff that I could edit out now. But you know, I'm proud of it. I love it. And it did make me feel a certain way about what I wanted to do in the future. So yeah. How much time goes into planning your travel vlogs? Oh, too much time. Too much time. I'm telling you, I'm probably working like 24/7 and I do love it so much. Again, don't get me wrong, I love it so much because my brain just never shuts up. And then I do like to have a Google document moment and I like to be like, okay, so I want to go to Jamaica Inn. The Jamaica Inn video, I think I had planned for 5 or 6 months. And I was like booking the place and I was trying to come up with like scene ideas. So, well, not like scene ideas, but you know what, like whenever I go to a place, I've only got a limited amount of time there. So I want to use my time wisely. So I'm like, okay, scene 1, introduction, scene 2, room tour, scene 3, first review of the book, scene 4, more B-roll, kind of, you know, stuff like that. I like to do that. But I really do have to think it through for months and months and months. So like the location ones take longer than other videos. But if I'm doing a complete series reading vlog, I do have to like make sure I've got the time for it. And that while I'm filming around it as well, I've got like, oh, I've got a short video there, short video there, short video there. I can maybe do the series vlog in the background. That's really helpful to me when I can like really plan and prepare for that. Because I do, like, this is my job, like essentially at the end of the day. And I don't want job to sound derogatory. Job is in like, this is my dream job. This is what I love to do. So I genuinely don't mind spending so much time on, because even like in the background of videos as well, I'm like thinking of things. Like it's no secret to anyone that I filmed a Scream video. That's going to be the first video for Vlogs of Halloween. So it's not coming out until September. It's already filmed. It's already edited. And that one I have planned since August 2025. And that's been like a back and forth with the owners and a back and forth with the person organizing it. It's me trying to plan and prepare and stuff like that. So it's like, that's months, like months and months and months can go into a video sometimes. And so that's why I really do need like those smaller moments, those smaller vlogs every now and then where I'm just like, oh, this is just a random week in my life. Or this is like, Imposter Toss is like great to film because it's not really like too strenuous. Stay across my bookshelves though, and TBR traders, like I never know when those vlogs are going to end, which is honestly, why do I have 2 series on my channel where I don't know when the vlog is actually going to end? Because the amount of times I've actually had to push things back in order to let the videos end naturally, because I'm not about to force myself to end those videos. If I need to read 10 books in that video, I'll read 10 fucking books. If I need to read every book in this room because I've hit every single shelf, I'll do that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know why I've got 2 series though where it's just like, I don't see the end in sight. I can't predict it. But there's a lot of time, effort, but hey, like, it's part of the fun. It's part of the fun of doing this as a job. And again, like, job isn't a good thing. Do you have a video you regret posting the most? I mean, a lot of my older videos, definitely, but like not for anything too bad. I mean, there's a lot of cringy stuff, and I still do cringy stuff, I'm not gonna lie. But like, say, maybe like the Mamma Mia videos, like they're a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but my singing is god-awful. Like, I sound freaking awful when I sing, and I would rather they just like, I would rather just use the music, which I have done recently for the High School Musical one, but that was because, you know, copyright claims, constant copyright claims. So like, okay, well, I can't just cover the songs, I'm just gonna have to use the music anyway. And also, like, as much as I love it because it changed my life and it changed my BookTube trajectory, but that very first Goosebumps video, I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of myself for doing all of the Goosebumps books in 1 month and filming that long ass video. It's like the very first video of mine that ever went above 2 hours. The most that I've ever been before that was like 1 hour and 7 minutes. That one was like 3 hours and 27. So it's just like such a long video. As much as it changed everything for me, it's probably the video where I've gotten the most abuse from. Like, not just like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to like step on any toes in the Goosebumps community, but it's the video where I've gotten the most homophobic like abuse, the most where, you know, I've called out the fat phobia in Goosebumps. Honestly, people hate that. People hate that I called it out. And it's just like, oh, fat phobia doesn't exist and things like that. The amount of times, even to this day, where I feel like I have to defend my stance on so much of the problematic stuff in Goosebumps, I'm just like, I'm tired. So sometimes I think, is it worth doing that video if I knew how many times I will get called like some derogatory name for being a homosexual? You know what I mean? It's like, is it worth it? I mean, at the end of the day, like, it did change my life completely and I'm grateful for it. But at the same time, like, so maybe there's like it's a double-edged sword, that one. What has been your most embarrassing BookTube video? Probably like the Mamma Mia videos. I'm telling you, anyone, oh my God, no, actually I just remembered as well. When I left Waterstones and I handed in my discount card, I did a really silly My Heart Will Go On green screen skit of me and my discount card, because obviously we're being split up. We're being split up. So I did my whole, why? And it's at the end of a book haul video. It's so random. It is so random. Oh my God, that was probably like one of the most cringiest things. In terms of like embarrassing like moment ever on BookTube, I have accidentally left my microphone on when I've went to the toilet during the live show, so you can actually hear me taking a piss. I've shat myself as well. TMI, I've shat myself. Like, honestly, like, me and live shows, sometimes we do not mix. Okay, so I've had some embarrassing moments, but hey, I own up to it. I own up to it. I embrace it. But it is a little bit embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. What has been your favourite thing to come out of creating your BookTube account? Honestly, like, I can say with 100% of my heart, it's the friends I've made. Like, genuinely, I cannot tell you. I was sitting at my friend Jade's wedding last year and I was like, we became friends on BookTube. And I'm sitting at her wedding. And I have another wedding coming up with Steph. So I'm like, these are the friends I've made, like, through this. And that has been the happiest, the absolute happiest. I know that one day when I have to like walk away from BookTube or like YouTube in general, because I don't know or think that this is going to last forever, but then I'm like, I'll still have friends. You know what I mean? It's like, I can walk away from this, but I would never want to walk away from those friendships that I've made. And obviously, like, I've made like so many more friends as well, of course. But I was just like, I've been to people's weddings, you know, like there's nothing better than that, really. What's been the easiest part about managing a BookTube channel? The easiest part, honestly, I don't want this to sound like egotistical, but like, I just have so much fun with like doing the creative vlogs and doing the creative things that I do, that the easiest part of it really is just like, just doing it. Like, which it's a hard question because I'm like, well, it just feels easy because I love it so much, you know? It's like, I can't pinpoint one specific thing that's the easiest. It's obviously tough as well, like trying to arrange things and like get everything in order. Like, there's loads of tough things about it, but it's the doing of it. You know, like when I get to the Haunted Nunnery and I just click record, that's the easiest part for me. It's just like being able to film the video, because I'm like, okay, everything I've envisioned in my head over and over and over again in my head for like months before this, it's coming true. It's coming true and I love it. The easiest part is, I actually don't know. I can't explain it. Are there any booktubers you would love to meet but haven't? There's loads of booktubers I would love to meet who I haven't. Like Jan, for instance. Freaking love Jan. But also Kayla from Books and Lala, I think, is like the main one, because she has and always will be one of, if not my biggest inspiration. And yeah, I'm so grateful and proud and happy that I can call her a friend. But honestly, meeting her, I think, would just be like the cherry on top of a beautiful relationship, you know what I mean? I genuinely don't think that the universe could handle it though. I don't think they could handle it. And there's way many more to name as well. How did you make all your BookTube friends over the years? Honestly, a lot of it has just been like connections through like Instagram. I feel like most of it's probably been like Instagram, like DMing, doing like live shows on other people's channels. Like say if someone's in a book club and I've been invited as part of that book club and the other co-hosts are there and stuff, and we just talk before and after the live show. A lot of it has just been through that. And a lot of it was through Twitter as well. Like back in the day, like I haven't really used Twitter in a while, but back in like 2019, 2020, that was like another way of making connections and making friends on BookTube. So honestly, most of it is just like outside of YouTube, like making friends with people. It's been outside of it. So it's been wild. And I feel like every single person has a different story of how I've met them and how we became friends. And some of them I've forgotten now. Like some of them I've forgot how we even first connected. So yeah, it's been interesting. What has been your least and most favorite moment since on your channel? I mean, most favorite moment, if we're talking about like just my channel and rather than the things that it's given me, like friends and stuff like that. So if we say just like my channel, favorite moment, I honestly, it's very recent, but yeah, I guess maybe when I went to the High School Musical tour resort recently, I was sitting there at the pool, that Sharpay Evans sang Fabulous, in a Sharpay Evans outfit, and I was like, am I really doing this? Am I really doing this? I think I was 15 years old when High School Musical 2 came out. I never in a million years thought I would be sitting where Ashley Tisdale sat to sing Fabulous. You know what I mean? I was just like, is this really my life? Have I really made this happen? And I'm like, yeah, I feel like that's probably my favorite moment because I was like, damn, this has really opened me up to so many opportunities and things that even little teenage Gavin, who was so far back in the closet, he was in fucking Narnia, didn't ever dream could ever be a possibility, you know? So I feel like that's probably like a favorite moment. And it's so recent as well. It was only last month, but it meant so much to me that I could do that. Least favorite? Okay, least favorite was probably the whole 2020 worst books of the year drama that I was dragged into on Twitter with all the children's authors who had a problem with worst books of the year lists. And I, for some reason, was the main target of all of that. So that wasn't fun. I have talked about it more in like previous videos. I'm like, okay, this is old drama. These nachos do not need to be reheated. So we're just going to move on. But it was a time. And you know what? It happened, like I wasn't even a booktuber for 2 years yet. It happened so early on. And I'm kind of glad that that was kind of like the low point for it. And it's just been up from that. And also like other least favorite moments, of course, is, you know, I do get a lot of bad comments. I really do. I get a lot of negative comments. I don't mind as much when the negative comments are about like, oh, like the video quality of this could have been better, or like, oh, I couldn't understand you doing this, or, you know, there's been genuine feedback, but like, try putting yourself out there for 7 years to an audience of people, a lot of people who aren't even your subscribers, and opening yourself up to people feeling like they can just tear you down in the comments. They can tear you down at a whim. I feel like some people just don't see booktubers or people who have a YouTube platform as people. You know, I'm just a person. I'm just an actual flesh and blood person. I'm so normal. I'm so regular. Like, there's nothing special about me, genuinely. So it's like, there's nothing different about me from you. And imagine just for 7 years having to like have those constant comments. Imagine you're going to work for 7 years and every other day someone just shouts a random slur at you, or just shouts something like so homophobic or so like nasty about your appearance or the way you speak or the way you smile and things like that. And it's just like, and you still have to go on with it. You still have to carry on. You still have to film yourself and do your job as if nothing's happened. It's hard. Like, that's my least favorite part as well, is that there's so much that I have to squash now over 7 years that has deterred me or tried to deter me. And like, oh gosh, it's hard sometimes. It really is hard. I will say it's really hard. But it's neither here nor there. The positives definitely outweigh the negatives, so it's all good. Do you still enjoy making videos? Yes, I do. Like, I need people to know that I genuinely do love making videos. This job saved my life. Like, being a YouTuber sounds stupid. It saved my life. It really did. And people don't know this because I don't speak about it. But I'm just going to be so completely honest with you. So there is going to be massive trigger warning. So please skip ahead to the next question if you're going to be triggered by this. But I'm going to talk about thinking about suicide. So I'm going to just very briefly, because this is something that comes up all the time. And it's something that I went through one reading slump last year. And it looked like maybe I wasn't enjoying my time. And obviously I had loads going on in the back of my mind in just like my personal life. There was just so much going on, so much weighing me down. But like, obviously like getting comments about like, oh, he obviously doesn't enjoy it anymore. He'd be happy if he worked back at Waterstones, and like he'd be happy if he did this and stuff like that. Making assumptions of people's happiness and the way that people like feel is like one of the most dangerous things, because like saying that is like, to me, incredibly dangerous. One of the last shifts before I put in my notice with Waterstones, like, oh, well, I put in my notice twice. But one of them was back in September 2021. I was filming the Goosebumps video, and I was honestly, I was thinking, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? I'm not enjoying myself. I feel like I'm wasting my life. And I thought this was just it for me. I thought I'm never going to improve. I'm never going to get better. And I was sitting on the bus home, in my hands, I couldn't feel them. And I couldn't move my hands. I was like, wow, like, is this really how I feel? Like, I'm never going to get better. I'm never going to improve. This is my life. I couldn't feel my hands. And that kind of like triggered something in me. And I got home and I looked around and I was like, this is it. Like, this is it. I looked around and I was looking for the best place to just end it all. And that was the moment I was like, I need to make a change. Like, I need to make a change. I was so prepared. I was so prepared. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. There's no way out for me. Fortunately, I saw improvement. Fortunately, I saw something that made me stop what it was that I was thinking. And I was so honest with my manager. I spoke to her the next day and I was like, I don't want to be here. And I'm not just talking about this job. And it sounds so silly because I'm like, what am I passionate about? What do I love doing? And it's making videos. It's making people happy. It's making people smile. It's making people laugh. And I got to a point where I was like, I can't support myself. And I don't know if there's a way out. I knew I wasn't doing what I was loving doing. And that was the moment as well I realized I wasn't even 30 yet. And I was having these thoughts. And I was like, I need to be happy. I need to do something that is going to make me happy. I can't have anything stop me from being happy, because if I'm not happy, then I don't want to be here. And obviously no one knows that. Like, this is the first time I've ever spoken it out loud. Like, nobody knows that. But obviously people assume online, like, say if I'm going through a rough patch, and like, it's the main thing I saw last year about myself is that he's forcing himself to make videos. He doesn't enjoy it anymore. And that broke me. That broke me because I was like, but I do. What do you mean I do? I love doing this so much. And if someone took this away from me, I would feel so empty, so lost. But to be honest, it's not just me. I see people say that about. I see people assume someone's mental health all the time. I see someone assume that because someone is miserable in a video that they don't like what they do, or they don't like this, they don't like that. And I find assumptions so dangerous. And yeah, do I enjoy making videos? Yes, I love it so much. But I have a life, and I've had things happen in my life the past few years as I've been on camera, behind the scenes, you know, with family, with friends, things that have really like affected me. But I keep going because what I love to do, my escape is making videos. My escape is doing vlogs. My escape is reading. My escape is going to freaking haunted nunnery dressed as a fucking nun, so that I can like get some enjoyment and know that I'm doing something that makes me happy, makes other people happy. So it's the hardest thing for me is assumptions, that I don't like what I do and I'm forcing myself to do it. I can promise you, hand on my heart, that is not true. I love what I do. And the next question is, how do you keep yourself from burning out? I feel like a lot of those conversations came from because I went through a slump last year, and it was the first slump I encountered on BookTube since I started. And there was just stuff going on in my life, and I didn't want to talk about that online, obviously, so I just wanted to keep filming. I wanted to keep doing reading vlogs. I wanted to keep filming me reading books. I wanted to premiere Snake across my bookshelves, even though I was in a slump, and I wanted to do Emboss or Toss, even though I was in a slump, and I just wanted to keep going, and like, doing it helps keep me going. But I'm going to go through that, and I will continue to go through that. I am not a perfect human. Things are going to keep dragging me down. Things are going to keep holding me back. And I'm just going to keep on going. And I'm going to be filming. I'm going to be vlogging. I'm going to be making videos. And you're probably going to see some days when I may be feeling a little bit down. And I can't help that. So short answer is, yes, I do still enjoy making videos. And going back to the how do you keep yourself from burning out, honestly, I can't stop myself from burning out. But I think having a lot of, you know, inspirations that I watch, like other booktubers, and being so open to trying new things and new ideas and going to different places has been like such a massive help in keeping me sane and keeping me like really passionate about still doing this. I mean, obviously it's like expensive as well. Oh my God. Like honestly, I will put so much money into a video, but I'm like, but I need to do it. I need to do it for my soul. Like I need to do it because I've had this idea and I can't let this idea go because I'm so passionate about it and it'll make me so happy. You know what I mean? So everything I do is to make me happy. And so to prevent me from bidding out, I just remind myself, what is it that's going to make me happy? So yeah. Have you ever genuinely thought about quitting YouTube for good because of all the hate? Like, the good outweighs the bad. The good outweighs the bad. I just like hope that people have the compassion and the understanding that like we are just people. Like we are just normal people who are filming from our houses, from our living rooms, in like from like, you know, little book rooms that we've made for ourselves. We need a little bit of grace when people talk shit about us, because like those words do affect us. Those words do really sting. And obviously, like, there's another question about what do you think of gossip sites and snark Reddits? Like, I'm glad that there's somewhere where people can vent and take that away from YouTubers' comments, 100%. I'm glad there's hopefully a safe place for them to do that. But it does sting. Like, everyone knows about them. Everyone knows about Reddit. It's a massive platform. And everyone knew about the other gossip sites that are, I think, now down and stuff. Like, it's awful. It's genuinely awful, and it inspires a lot of like hatred, but also a lot of people do have valid criticisms and valid concerns, of course, as well. Like, I don't want to say like everyone who uses those websites and platforms are bad people, because they're really not. But yeah, just like everyone knows about them, you know. And I try not to look, obviously, but like it's so hard not to. Especially when you know that there's somewhere out there that can say anything about you. It's hard not to say that. It really is. And again, I just hope that people just have grace and just think about what you say and put out there, because that is still a platform. You do have influence over other people's opinions and stuff like that as well. So again, like when I talk about the assumptions thing, like I'm forcing myself to make videos and that I should go back to working a part-time job. Just like those things are just like, does it make you feel better for saying that? Like, does it make you feel good for saying that? You know, it's just like, and again, like you don't know everything about the people. Like, I don't expect anyone to know everything about me. So like, why do you talk about it? Why do you say things that you don't understand? Those words have such massive impacts. And again, stay away from it. Like, stay away from it. If you're a booktuber, if you are any kind of influencer, anything, just stay away from it. It's like an author going on Goodreads, isn't it? And like saying a bad review. Like, it's a bit like that, except kind of not, because most of the reviews are about, you know, the author's work, whereas snark Reddits and gossip websites, they're about the person. And it's just soul crushing, honestly. It really is soul crushing. But like, again, glad that there's somewhere where people can talk about it, talk about us, and not take that to our comments. You know, obviously those comments still come in anyway. I still get loads of random ass mean comments every now and then anyway. But yeah, if you're going to read it, just make your own judgments. You do your own research, essentially, and just, yeah. I want to tell you what's the juiciest BookTube gossip. Like, I'm telling you, I have no energy left to talk about anything messy or dramatic, to be quite honest. Obviously, the whole Rachel Marie stuff that happened in 2020 was a massive thing, and definitely the weirdest that I ever got, like, embroiled in as well. So, yeah, moving on from that, I don't really know of that much drama outside of that I can personally speak on. Do you see yourself doing this in another 7 years? I would love to do this for as long as possible, but I'm also realistic. I don't think that this is a long-term thing. I don't think I will be able to do this forever, because, you know, like YouTube changes, and who knows if YouTube is going to be the way it is now in 10 years time, or even like 7 years time. So I don't know what I'll be doing in 7 years, but honestly, when I quit my job, I knew in the back of my head that this was the riskiest thing I was going to do, and I was just going to do it until I could. And I'm just going to keep enjoying it until I could, because when will I ever get this opportunity again? When will I ever get this job again where I can go to a High School Musical resort and film something I've wanted to film since I was 15 years old, or going to just like silly haunted places? And, you know, there isn't another job in the world like that. So I'm just being grateful for it. I'm being thankful for it. I'm going to try and do it as long as I possibly can, because I love it so much. But I'm also very self-aware in that I know it'll not last forever. And so when that happens, when I start to see a shift, then yeah, I will look into doing something else. I don't know what that would be, but I hope that I've been building quite a bit of a resume in the meantime. Maybe video editing, maybe some kind of video job that I could possibly do. I don't know. You know, it's like, at the minute, I don't need to think about it, and I'm just going to do it for as long as possible. There was another question. What do you think you'd do if you win a BookTuber? Honestly, I feel like it would be something to do with video editing, I think. I mean, I do need to get better at it. Absolutely. There's definitely like effects I would love to master and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Do you have a video idea that you've always wanted to do, but for some reason haven't done it? I mean, there's loads, but it's mainly been because of money. Like, I've wanted to do Anna Green Gables reading vlog on Prince Edward Island. I've always wanted to do a Winnie the Pooh vlog, but in a tree house. I've always wanted to do, and I've mentioned this a few times actually, because I was going to do it a couple of years ago. I wanted to go into a random charity shop, find a few books that were used, and see if someone had read it and had dog-eared a page or left a bookmark in, and I would finish that book off for them. Like, it's such the most randomest thing. And I got that idea from a PlayStation YouTuber because he gets memory cards. I believe he's called Mystic. He gets memory cards of incomplete games, like incomplete saved files. And then he finishes off the game. You know, like that's kind of, obviously it's like harder doing it as a book because like I wouldn't have read, because I would start from where they stopped. I wouldn't read the start of the book. I would start where they stopped and just finish it. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that stupid? Isn't that silly? But I feel like I kind of still want to do that. But I'm just like, for some reason, I feel like I keep holding myself back from that because I'm like, it really is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And you know what? Sometimes that works. Would you change any of the BookTube friendships you've had if you knew they weren't going to last? I'm honestly happy and grateful for all of them. They all taught me something different, whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. I'm here now because of every single thing that's happened leading up to this. The friends I've made along the way, the friends I've lost along the way. Like, I'm not, like, no, I don't, no. Like, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, maybe I would change how some of them ended, 100%, but, like, I wouldn't change the friendship, you know? They've all meant something to me. How do you pick the songs for your B-roll? So I get this a lot because people are like, oh my God, how can you use copyrighted music? I do pay for a license. It's called Licked. It's a website called Licked, and they do have copyrighted music on there, but you can pay like £6 for a license. And so I like to do that. And what I like to do with my B-roll is I like to still do like the whole music video vibe that I used to do back in the day. And that's a way of me, like, not everyone loves the B-roll. A lot of people do skip it and that's fine. But like a way for me to connect to my YouTube roots is the B-roll sections. It's like, okay, I can make like a little music video out of my day with like Demi Lovato singing or something like that. And so I can do that through Licked, which is like a great like thing to be able to do. And so I am very intentional with like the B-roll and like cutting the B-roll up and trying to get it to the beat sometimes, and just like having those different things. I do put a lot of thought into like everything. Like, I don't just throw in random B-roll shots and have the music playing in the background. No, I'm more intentional than that. So I do pick the songs from the B-roll because I'm like, one, well, what do Licked have? And is it a banger? And two, like, does it fit the vibe? Does it fit the vibe of like me doing the same old shit that I always do? Make a coffee, go to the gym, play with Ash and Tobu, or have Ash drool all over me, you know? Things like that. Any thoughts on BookTube becoming more and more like beauty and lifestyle influencing? Yeah, you know what? That's one of the biggest shifts from BookTube as well, from early in the day as well. And I feel like because we have had a lot of people from like StudyTube or like FashionTube, like other tubes that have come into BookTube and they are like automatically popular, that has changed the landscape quite dramatically. I'm so welcoming to anyone who wants to join BookTube and be part of that, because like the space is big enough for all of us. But like, as long as you stay, like, so BookTube is very curated to how you watch it. As long as you watch the people that you want to watch, I don't think it really affects too much, because like I personally don't see it that much, because the people I watch are like very BookTube heavy. I don't actually have that much opinion on it, to be quite honest. Like, I probably should. But now I'm just like, you do you. I'm just going to put on my Claudia Winkleman wig and some big ass eyeliner, and I'm just going to be over here reading my books. Why don't you take sponsorships? I don't, I'm a little bit lazy. Like, a lot of times I get emails, I ignore them. I do. Plus, I don't love timelines. I like to work to my own deadlines, and if I have another added deadline on top of that, I don't want to do it. A lot of the sponsorships I get offered, I just wouldn't even use myself, so I don't give a shit, so I don't do it. My memberships have definitely helped me to be able to not have to rely on sponsorship money. But if something comes along that I really do genuinely feel like I could do it, then I will. But like, it's very rare that that happens. I haven't taken a sponsorship in 2 years. Like, it's very rare someone actually asked me and I'm like, okay, yeah, actually, like, that does sound really good. And also, I just felt so undervalued when I did do them years ago. And I feel like a lot of that is because I couldn't represent myself and I couldn't really demand or like say what I wanted in that whole like business partnership. It felt a lot like I was being used a lot of the times. And I was like, well, why the fuck should I do it then? why the fuck should I like promote your product to people who most likely don't even give a shit? So I'm not taking sponsorships off the table 100%. There might be something that comes up and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what, actually, that would make sense to do. A lot of times I'm too lazy. And final like BookTube question, then I do have some like reading questions, then I've got some like personal life questions. This is already too long, I'm so sorry. What do you want your legacy on BookTube to be? One of the reasons why I like doing like these big ass videos, these big creative videos, is because I would love it for like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, for people to be like, oh, I just want to rewatch Gavin's Sleepy Hollow vlog. Oh, I just want to rewatch Gavin's Haunted Castle vlog or Haunted School vlog. You know, like maybe people watch them every Halloween, you know, like some kind of tradition with it. Like that's kind of what I want my legacy to be. I want my legacy to be, oh, I want to make impactful videos that people remember and people go back to because they're either comforting or they will make them smile and make them laugh. I just kind of want that to be my legacy. So like if and when I step away from BookTube, I'll know that there's like so many videos that people can still go back to. And that part of my life, like this massive chunk of my life that has changed my life, is still, you know, crystallized in my YouTube channel, and hopefully, yeah, like people will want to come back to them and stuff. So I want the rewatchability. I want my legacy to be, oh, that's Gavin who, you know, I want to go back to his random ass haunted nunnery video because I love it so much. You know, I want videos that people love to watch. That's what I want. And I want my legacy to be people going back to them long after I'm not here anymore. Okay, going into some reading questions. How old were you when you fell in love with reading? What was the book or books that led to it? I was so young because I remember reading like a Thomas the Tank Engine picture book and absolutely freaking loving it. Absolutely loving it. It was amazing. And I remember reading like The Worst Witch books by Jill Murphy and The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And I feel like the picture book, I was probably like really young. Maybe I was like 5, 6 or something. I was very young. I was in primary school. I was maybe in like year 3 or 4 when, you know, I was like talking about The Wizard of Oz because I love the film so much and it made me want to read the book so badly. And I did end up reading the book, loved the film more, of course. But yeah, that's kind of where my love for it came from. And my favorite childhood book or series, probably favorite childhood book was The Wizard of Oz, and favorite series, it was probably like something like The Edge Chronicles. You know, I loved The Edge Chronicles when I was a kid, and they really did also help. And The Worst Witch definitely influenced me so much, and it really sparked my love for like witches in general. What is your current favorite series? One Piece. One Piece is my current favorite series. It is a manga. I'm also freaking loving Witch Hat Atelier at the minute as well. That's another manga. If we're talking about book series, hello Tobu. Honestly, I've been here for so long, like Tobu's now like, Daddy, where you been? Where you been? Hello, Tobu, you coming in? Dungeon Crawler Call. Definitely. Also, The Lord of the Rings. I feel like The Lord of the Rings I didn't appreciate enough years ago. It was something that I did enjoy the films, but now, like, I think ever since hitting 30 and rereading the Lord of the Rings series, it has definitely become like my favorite. It's become my favorite. So my favorite series is One Piece and then The Lord of the Rings. So Lord of the Rings is my favorite book series. How do you read so many books a month? So I have a really fast brain. Like, it's really fast. And I'm constantly thinking, my brain never shuts up. It's really hard to sleep. But when I'm reading, I need things to go at a faster pace. If things are too slow, I can't pay attention and my mind will wander. And plus when I read, I picture everything in my head like a movie. And if like an audiobook narrator is talking slow, or if my eyes are going too slow, then in my mind, the actors in my head are moving slow, and that doesn't feel right to me. So I am a bit of a faster reader. It doesn't mean that I'm not taking it in. It doesn't mean that I'm reading it any less than anyone else. It just means my brain is different. And that goes to so many people. It goes to so many booktubers as well. There's loads of booktubers who read fast. And the amount of shame and the amount of people are like, oh, they're definitely not reading it properly. They're not taking it in and stuff like that. And like, this isn't a slight to the person who asked this as well. It's just like an overall problem on booktube in general. And like people who watch it is that, again, like the assumptions that people aren't reading or reading properly because they read at a faster pace. Like I've never seen people who love reading so much get torn down so much for their love of reading. I really haven't. It's bizarre to me. And like, just because people read it faster, like again, like nobody makes it a competition that I've ever seen personally myself. Everyone is reading for their own enjoyment. Everyone is reading for their own personal like fulfillment out of that story. So if someone needs to read it faster so they'll pay attention to it, then that's just what happens. And that's my brain. My brain is like literally telling me, okay, read faster, bitch. Like otherwise you're gonna end up thinking about that thing that you did 25 years ago when you were a kid and you accidentally like tripped over the playground and a bird shot in your head. That actually did happen. I didn't trip, but I have had a bird shit on my head in front of everyone at school. Fire alarm went off. We were all outside. in a bit shot in my head. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, my mind will wander. And so, like, I need to read faster. And so, like, yeah, I read a lot a month because, like, that's what my brain tells me to do. Also, again, like, this is my job. And again, I don't want that to come across as a negative thing. I am so blessed and so fortunate to have the means where I can, like, from 9 till 5, if I want to, just sit down and read. You know, I can do that. And that's such a blessing. That is just so incredible to me. And one that I'm never ever going to take for granted. And I just love reading so much. So if there's any point in the day when I can just pick up a book and start reading, I will do it. I will do it. But I also have like a lot of passions. I love filming videos. I love editing videos. I love playing video games. I love building Lego. I love reading. I have so many things I love to do that they're all fighting for it, but I love reading the most, 100%. I love the movies that play in my head when I'm reading a book, and so I'm just like really excited to read them. So I read a lot a month. How many books do you own? More like how many books own me. So according to my spreadsheet, I have 2,397 exactly, and I have 60.53% read, which obviously, like, we could get that number higher and stuff. And obviously that is a ridiculous amount of books as well. Again, like, I don't want to defend myself. I don't want to have to keep defending myself from all the things that get slung at every booktuber who ever talks about buying a book or having a book collection. I used my own money for all of this, and it made me happy, and it continues to make me happy. And I just look around and I'm like, oh gosh, I remember when I was a kid and I thought, oh, I would love to have a library one day. I'd love to own my own library like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And hey, like, again, like, making dreams come true. So I get it. This is a lot of books to own for one person. But I honestly, I love the collection I've curated. I just love how so many of these books tell a story about me as a collector, as a reader. And yeah, like, there's just so much I love in this room, and it just makes me happy looking around, and it just makes me happy, okay? So that's how many books I own. And to be exact, I've read 1,451 books in this room. How has your reading evolved? It's evolved so much, and you know what, as well, it's so crazy because another upcoming question is, why don't you talk about middle grade anymore? One of the reasons why I fell into middle grade in the first place was because I became a children's bookseller at Waterstones. And because of that, I was having to, like, recommend a lot of books to children, to parents of children, or like aunties and uncles, or people who just needed to buy a book for a child. So I was consuming a lot of middle grade, and I started working at Waterstones in 2018. So it was like the year before I joined BookTube. So by the time I joined BookTube, I was pretty much knee deep into children's literature, and I was loving it. Like, don't get me wrong, like, middle grade is such a great escape, and it's honestly so brilliant. Like, so many of the stories are so brilliant, and they deserve to have their recognition and deserve to be, like, held up to the same standards as adult books and young adult books. Like, middle grade is so crucial and important, and I still honestly look back on the middle grades I've read and I'm like, oh gosh, I loved so many of them, and I still do. But yeah, I feel like now, like, I don't have to be a children's bookseller, and I don't have to recommend children's books to, you know, grandparents who are looking for something for their grandchild. Now I can just, like, read for me, and a lot of times I just don't gravitate towards a middle grade. Now it is, like, more classics, it's more fantasy, it's more sci-fi, it's more adult, it's more, well, not as much a young adult, but hey, sometimes, but it's definitely evolved over the years. You can definitely tell in the early days of my channel, and back when I used to be called How to Train Your Gavin, that it was much more middle grade dominated, because I was a children's bookseller at the time. So it just kind of dictated what I read more of during that time as well. So I feel it was, like, more natural progression. Obviously the whole, like, children's author drama and the whole worst books of the year kind of list, which had no children's books on it, by the way, that whole drama as well, like, left a sour taste in my mouth, and I was like, why am I bending over backwards promoting children's authors, and this is how I feel treated, you know, like, by the community kind of thing. That also played a hand in it, absolutely. But by 2022, when I left Waterstones and I stopped being a children's bookseller, yeah, I kind of pivoted, and I didn't make as many middle grade videos, and I didn't read as much middle grade after that too. So just natural. How do you balance between the joy of reading and feeling the pressure to read? Honestly, that's a good question, because I don't, you know, I think I was asked this question when I did a week in my life back in 2023, and I still don't think I can answer this question. There is always pressure, always. But as long as I keep reading books that I know I'm going to love and enjoy, then that does help. Because I'm like, okay, but, like, I love reading, and I might not love it, I might hate it and stuff, but, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I balance the pressure of it, to be quite honest. What is your least favorite book you've ever reviewed? Any book that comes out of the 3-star is, like, because I don't think it's, like, what's, like, my worst book. It's, like, what's your least favorite book you've ever reviewed? As in, like, maybe, like, a book that, like, for me, 3-star books are books that I don't have a whole lot to say. And when it comes to me talking about books and doing videos about books, I would rather have something to say. Whether it's, like, a 1 or a 2-star, I've got so much passion about why it's that. When it's a 5 or a 4-star, I've got more passion for why it's that. A 3-star is so middle of the road and I don't have as much to say about a 3-star, that those are the worst books to review. They are so hard to review, so hard to really come up with like some good thoughts for, because half the time, you know, like not every single book I read, I have an opinion on. And that's probably like the same for you as well. If you're watching, if you're a reader, sometimes you finish a book and you go, meh, like you've got no opinion on it. And that happens. But then I feel like I have to say something. I have to review it. And so sometimes just nothing comes to me. So yeah, anything 3 stars. Have you ever lied about liking a book? No, I've never had to lie about liking a book. I don't see the need for it. When I was reviewing more middle grade, I was more generous because I felt like, okay, maybe I didn't love it, but children would love it. So maybe I embellished some of my middle grade thoughts, but I didn't embellish all of them because, again, like one of the reasons why I maybe got into trouble was, you know, the fact that I would still give a middle grade 2-star or a 3-star. So yeah, no, I don't think I've ever lied about liking a book. What is a fantasy series that surprised you? One that you didn't know you'd like it, but it's now one of your favorites. Dungeon Crawler Call. I genuinely did not realize how much I would love that series. And I'm saying I love it. I still only read the first 4 books. I am dragging out the other books because I'm like, I don't want it to be over. I love it so much. I've reread the first book 2 or 3 times now. I'm like, it's so good. And I know that when it's over, I'll never have a chance to ever read it for the first time again. So I'm really dragging it out. And also another one is a fantasy series that surprised you is The Lord of the Rings. I mentioned this time and time again, but the first time I read them, I was like, okay, they're good. Not amazing, but they're good. But then I reread them and I was like, this has affected me. Like it's actually affected me. So yeah, that's another one. What is your favorite piece of queer media? Now I do love the Heartstopper series by Alice Oseman 100%, and it's one of my favorites, mainly because like it was the kind of media that I needed when I was younger. It's the kind of media that I needed when I was in school and I was getting bullied for being gay. And even though I wasn't even out, but like people just took one look at me, they heard my voice and they gave me hell. So I see Heartstopper as the series that would have saved me from a miserable teenage life. So I will always give major kudos and major props to Alice Oseman for Heartstopper. It just, and I know it's probably cliche to say now, absolutely, but I honestly, if I'd had that at school, it would have changed everything for me. What are your favorite vampire books? I wonder if Jan asked this. Dracula by Bram Stoker, I do love. I actually don't know if I've read that many vampire books. I did enjoy the first few Sookie Stackhouse mysteries that became True Blood, but I can't really remember them that much now because I read them so long ago. I do want to do a reading vlog for all of those books though at some point. Vampire books, other vampire books. Definitely not Diary of Blood. Diary of Blood always catching strays with me. And that's probably it for now, because I genuinely can't think. Oh, I mean, Blood on Her Tongue. Where are Ash and Torbu's names from? So I named Ash and Torbu after 2 of the main characters in the Frost Heart series by Jamie Littler. Ash is the main character. He's a young boy who discovers he has powers, and Torbu is his Yeti guardian. And I do see Ash thinking he's the main character, in Torbu being his like little guardian, in getting Ash out of trouble. That is actually how I see them. That's not what I thought of when I first got them, because I was only supposed to get Ash. The day that I got Ash and Torbu, I hadn't met them beforehand. I knew they were coming because my mum on my 30th birthday said, you know, after losing Oscar, I didn't want cats anymore. I was like, I can't have another cat. But for my 30th birthday, she surprised me. She said, hey, this is a photo of a kitten that you're going to get. And yeah, I named him Ash because I loved Frostheart at the time. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to name him Ash. And then on the day of getting Ash, my sister called and said, Ash won't be separated from his brother. Can you take them both? And I was like, yes. Like, honestly, yes. Of course I will. Of course I will. I'm not going to separate them. So yeah, I knew like pretty much straight away that I was going to call him Torbu. So yeah. And they have actually fit those personalities very well. Based on their personality, what books or genre books do you think Ash and Torbu would love? I think Ash would love a mystery because he loves to cover up his shit. Torbu doesn't, but Ash does. So Ash loves to cover things up. So I think he'd like a mystery. And I feel like Torbu would love horror. Because you know what, it's surprising this, but Torbu is actually the biggest shit out of Ash and Torbu. He's the one who ends up making my life a living hell more often than not. He's waking me up at like 5 o'clock in the morning just to get in the bed that I'm in because he wants the bed. He's alright little witch. So Torbu, probably horror. What is a surprise book from your 7 years on BookTube do you still think about to this day? I had to think about the answer to this question a lot beforehand. And honestly, I think it would be Confessions by Kane Minato. You know what? There was like the first book that came to me, and I didn't think it would affect me as much as it did. But like, when did I read it? 4 years ago. I read it 4 years ago for a book club, and still to this day, I'm still thinking about it. I do. And like, it's not my favorite book of all time. I don't even know if it would make my top 10, but like, I think about it. Yeah, isn't that so weird? So probably confessions, which is so random. And then last few questions, more like personal life and other. Have you ever been recognized in public and how did that make you feel? I mean, this could probably actually tie into BookTube, but I was working at Waterstones and I did have a couple of people who I ended up serving being like, do you do videos on YouTube? I did have that a couple of times. And how did that make me feel? I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm the kind of person who needs to make the other person feel like they are seen. Like, I don't want an awkward silence. I will ask questions. Like, so for instance, as well, when I went to Yalk in 2022, I met lots of people and lots of people came up to me and they were so wonderful and amazing, but I was always asking them questions because well, one, I don't want an awkward silence or anything like that. I never want them to feel awkward. So I'm like, okay, well, how are you been? Like, what's been your favorite thing about Yalk so far? Like, have you seen anyone? Stuff like that. Like, that's the kind of person I am. And so like, I haven't met anyone in person who's known me for a long time. Actually, you're going to honestly scream. In Lilith, if you're still watching this, hi. But you know, when I went back to Chillingham Castle in 2023, I was in the Prince Edward room and it's one of the most haunted rooms. It was during the day, so people could like buy a ticket to like go through the castle and stuff. So I was just like going through it. I was just having a walk through and I was in the Prince Edward room and there's someone else in the Prince Edward room and she turns to me and she's like, are you How to Train Your Gavin? And she was actually at Chillingham Castle. And she was like, oh, I saw your video and I saw Amy's crypt as well. And like, she was there and she was staying there for a couple of nights because of me. She really wanted to say it and I was like, oh my god, this is so insane. Like, that is probably like the biggest someone seeing me in person like story that I have, and that was so amazing. So yeah, Lilith, hi if you're still watching. And obviously I do my Trover trips, so I do host trips abroad and I do manage to connect with people who have joined my trips, and they're usually people who have watched my channel and just amazing, absolutely amazing people who I've met on those trips as well. And like everyone I've met from online, that doesn't even factor into my brain, honestly. Like, I know people say like, oh, parasocialness and stuff like that, but every single person online is a real person, and that's how I say everyone. I say the people who I meet in person as people. I say, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, you're just a normal person and I'm just a normal person. Let's just talk about normal things. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about, you know what I mean? So yeah, long story short, I have met people in real life who have watched my channel. Would you ever introduce a future Mr. Gavin on the channel, or would you keep your relationship out of the public eye? Well, I mean, I would need to find someone, wouldn't I? I would need to find someone. And again, like, this is another, like, I haven't had enough of this to like go down that rabbit hole of like why I'm still single after all these years, all the self-esteem issues, all this, that, and the other. Don't worry, I'm not going to hold you hostage and I'm not going to tell you more about my problems. But I would need to find someone first. And if I did find a Mr. Gavin, I would probably do like maybe a random video every now and then, maybe. But I would never want to, it would be up to them as well. Like, I would never want to force someone to do it. And I would have to have a creative idea for it as well. I feel like it would be cute, wouldn't it? But then what if we break up? And then I'm like, do I take the video down? Do I keep it up? You know what I mean? It's just like, well, let's say this is my problem as well about dating. It's like, I'm already thinking about breaking up with them. I haven't even started dating anyone. I will stay open-minded, but I will also like take their feelings into account, and I'll not force anyone to do anything they didn't want to do. Would you ever start a gaming channel? This is so funny because I wanted to. When I used to be called How to Train Your Gavin, I wanted to start How to Play Your Gavin. And I actually did have a Twitch channel called How to Play Your Gavin. And this is so funny and random as well. But I was watching Granny on Twitch, and Granny gave me a shout out because I sent in some bits. I was supporting the stream, and I'll include the clip because I actually clipped it. I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing. But yeah, Granny was like, what's a Gavin and how do you play him, or something like that. And it was so funny.
How to play your Gavin. Thank you for the 100. Thank you so much. What is a Gavin and how do I play it?
I was going to, but I can't do the whole streaming thing. I can't do the OBS stuff. I have a Mac. I feel like I would have to have Windows. Like, my Mac wouldn't be able to support it. Tobu has had a shit. I know he has. I can fucking smell it. But I'm almost at the end. It's fine. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to sustain it. I would need to get like the fancy ass screens. I would need to stream it to OBS or like screen share and stuff like that. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the means. So probably not. I don't think I ever would. And last one, have you ever thought about writing your own book? Fun fact, I have. I actually used to write quite a few books. And I used to write on Wattpad quite a lot too. And back in 2018, I wrote a gay Titanic retelling, but set in the modern day. And it was set on an airplane instead of a ship. And I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. I would not recommend reading it. However, it did win a Wattie Award that year. It won a Wattie. You know, The Kissing Booth by Beth Reekles? That won a Wattie. And where's my Netflix adaptation? But no, it's terrible. It's genuinely not that good. But like, I would just write because it was like my outlet. That was my passion at the time. I'm not really a writer now. It's not really my passion anymore. But I got that out of my system when it was like peak writer in me. I did self-publish back in 2013 as well. I was doing like this urban fantasy series called Abyssal Sanctuary that I was writing on Wattpad, but I like self-published it as well, kind of thing. There's a big story there as well, but I'll not get into it. But yeah, I just don't do it anymore. I just don't do it anymore. Right now, I really need to pick up this shit now, so I'm going to end the video. There were so many more questions, but I tried to like narrow it down, and there's definitely more like reader-based questions and like book-related questions that I could do that I might do a different video for, because they're like, you know, like 5-star predictions or like characters and like specific things that I feel like I could do a specific video for. This one's just like a random ass Q&A that I hope you enjoyed to celebrate 7 years. Hey, 7 years. The sun's about to go down, so if the lighting's changing, like perfect time to end it. But if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below, let me know what you thought. Thank you so much as well for my channel members for support my channel. If you enjoy my channel membership, the link is down below. But I hope I will see you in the next video. Cheers!